It's hard to believe, but Halle Berry's daughter, Nahla Aubry, is already 17 years old, and the beautiful teen is stepping into the spotlight for the first time in years. For nearly 2 decades, Halle has made it her mission to protect her children from the harsh glare of fame. But every once in a while, the world catches a glimpse that reminds everyone how quickly time moves. Nahla, once the tiny toddler fans saw being carried through airports or shielded behind sunglasses, has transformed into a confident young woman with her own sense of style and individuality. The world has been waiting for this moment without even realizing it, a quiet introduction of the girl who grew up with one of Hollywood's most famous mothers and one of the most striking models as her father. The rare photos that recently surfaced showed a glimpse of Nahla walking side by side with Halle during a casual shopping trip in Los Angeles. There was nothing overly glamorous about it, no red carpet, no stylist, no staged smiles. Just a mother and daughter spending an ordinary day together, blending into the city crowd. Yet for fans, those images carried something special. Nahla looked effortlessly cool, dressed like any other 17-year-old trying to stay comfortable while hanging out with her mom. The laid-back outfit, the easy expression, the way she moved with quiet confidence. It all spoke to a girl who's grown up with grace under the constant shadow of fame, but still managed to hold on to normalcy. Fans immediately flooded social media with comments comparing Nahla's features to her parents. Some insisted she was Halle's mirror image, while others were convinced she resembled Gabriel Aubry, her father. The debate was as lively as it was affectionate, with people celebrating how both parents' genetics seemed to blend perfectly in her face. "She's got her dad's whole face but Halle's glow," one fan wrote, summing up the general sentiment. Others pointed out that Nahla had her mother's warmth and poise, a kind of calm presence that makes her stand out even without trying. The conversation wasn't just about looks, though. It was about watching someone who had been hidden for so long finally step into the light, still unbothered by the noise of the outside world. For Halle Berry, this balance between fame and privacy has always been delicate. As one of the most photographed women in Hollywood, she knows firsthand how invasive celebrity culture can be. From her earliest days as a model to her Oscar-winning success as an actress, Halle has lived under a microscope. When Nahla was born in 2008, she vowed to do everything possible to shield her daughter from the kind of scrutiny that can distort a child's sense of self. She became an outspoken advocate for children's privacy, pushing back against paparazzi laws and speaking up about the emotional toll that constant attention can take on young minds. Every decision she made as a mother was guided by the instinct to protect, to make sure Nahla could have a life outside of her mother's spotlight. That's why this new appearance feels so surprising and emotional for longtime fans. Nahla isn't the little girl being rushed through airports anymore. She's nearly an adult, composed, observant, and clearly comfortable in her own skin. There's something poetic about the way she carries herself. Casual, yes, but with an elegance that seems to come naturally. She doesn't appear to crave the spotlight, but neither does she shy away from it. It's as if she's learned to coexist with fame on her own terms, just like her mother eventually did. The curiosity surrounding Nahla isn't just about celebrity fascination. It's also about seeing how children of famous parents grow up when raised with intentional boundaries. In Hollywood, where fame often becomes a family business, Halle's insistence on keeping her children's lives private stands out. Many celebrity kids grow up in front of cameras, building public identities before they even understand what that means. Nahla, on the other hand, has been allowed to grow quietly, away from judgment and pressure. When fans finally see her now, it feels like meeting someone entirely new, even though they've technically known her name since birth. The resemblance debate also highlights just how much Nahla embodies both of her parents. Gabriel Aubry's model features, the sharp cheekbones, the defined jawline, the light hair, are unmistakable. But Halle's influence shines through in her presence, her composure, and that unmistakable glow that has defined Berry's career for decades. There's a warmth in Nahla's expression that mirrors her mother's energy, balanced by a quiet strength that seems entirely her own. It's a rare combination, the grace of a Hollywood icon and the grounded energy of a girl raised to understand the value of privacy and authenticity. Beyond looks, what stands out most about this moment is how deeply Halle's parenting philosophy has shaped her daughter. Over the years, Halle has spoken candidly about motherhood, calling it both her greatest challenge and her most rewarding role. She often describes parenting as a daily act of patience and humility, especially when raising children under public scrutiny. When Halle talks about Nahla, there's always pride, but also a deep respect, a sense that she's not just raising a daughter, but learning from her as well. She once said that motherhood taught her to slow down and appreciate simplicity, and moments like these, a casual outing, a quiet day, an ordinary photo, reflect that sentiment perfectly. The past wasn't always easy for Halle and Gabriel. Their co-parenting journey has been marked by tension and legal battles that drew public attention for years. The custody dispute over Nahla was one of Hollywood's most discussed family cases, with headlines dissecting every development. But with time, both parents found a rhythm that worked, focusing on what mattered most, their daughter's well-being. While the details of their arrangement have remained private in recent years, it's clear that both have grown to prioritize peace and stability for Nahla above all else. The result is visible in her demeanor, a young woman who seems calm, secure, and at ease despite the fame that surrounds her family name. Nahla's re-emergence into the public eye has reminded everyone that celebrity children don't stay children forever. They grow up, find their own identities, and begin to carve their own paths, whether in front of the camera or away from it. For many, seeing Nahla now is like watching time collapse. It feels like just yesterday that Halle was introducing her newborn to the world. Now that baby is nearly an adult, preparing to step into a future full of choices, possibilities, and independence. There's also something deeply touching about seeing Halle and Nahla together in such an unguarded moment. Halle, now 58, has aged gracefully, carrying herself with the same confidence that made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Standing beside her daughter, she looks proud, content, and reflective, as if watching her child grow up has become her greatest success of all. Fame, awards, and legacy aside, it's clear that motherhood remains the most meaningful role of her life. As for Nahla, whether she decides to step further into the public eye or continue living privately, one thing is certain: she carries both the beauty and resilience of her parents. She's inherited not just their looks, but their spirit, her father's poise, her mother's grace, and her own quiet confidence. The world will no doubt continue to be curious, but for now, she seems content simply being herself. This latest sighting doesn't just mark a milestone for Halle's fans, it also symbolizes a full-circle moment for the actress herself. The little girl she once shielded from flashing cameras has grown into a young woman ready to face the world. And while Halle has always been careful about how much she shares, there's an unspoken message in the way she walks beside her daughter, that it's okay to be seen now. Not because the world demands it, but because Nahla is ready. She's no longer the hidden child of a superstar. She's her own person, shaped by love, privacy, and the quiet strength of a mother who never stopped protecting her. Halle Berry's life has never been as effortless as the characters she played on screen. Long before she became one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces, she was just a young girl in Cleveland, Ohio, determined to escape a world that often tried to limit her. Born on August 14, 1966, she was raised by her mother after her parents' marriage broke apart. The reality of growing up in a biracial family during a tense era shaped her emotionally in ways that would follow her for years. She faced racism in school, struggled to fit in, and watched her household fall apart because of her father's issues. But those experiences gave her a backbone she would later rely on when Hollywood tried to break her down. She found confidence in performance early on, entering pageants in her late teens, and eventually becoming the first runner-up in Miss USA and later Miss World. Those competitions opened the door to modeling and acting opportunities, and she moved to New York determined to chase something bigger. The beginning was brutal. She ran out of money, slept in shelters, and hustled for auditions until she finally landed small television roles. It wasn't glamorous, but she refused to quit. Her big-screen breakthrough came in Spike Lee's Jungle Fever in 1991, where she played a crack addict and proved she wasn't just another beauty queen hoping to act. Hollywood finally took notice. As the 1990s unfolded, Halle built a resume that demanded respect. She delivered emotional performances in films like Losing Isaiah, Boomerang, The Flintstones, and Bulworth. But it was Monsters Ball in 2001 that changed her legacy forever. The raw